Welcome back to No Man's Sky, everyone. Jason here with a shorter video on hazard protection. I've seen a lot of people, they ask how I set up my suit in general, and I will say that for me, I focus on my hazard protection first, and then everything else kind of goes around that. And I've also seen a lot of people make a little bit, a few mistakes when they do their hazard protection for their suit. So this is how I do it. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I will tell you that a lot of people, they sleep on a really, really good upgrade because it's called a C-class upgrade. But seriously, guys, it is probably one of the more important upgrades you can get in No Man's Sky, and a lot of people just ignore it. So let's get into our inventory. This is going to be our suit inventory, and if you did not know, once you upgrade your inventory a lot, you have a lot of tabs, you have a lot of squares. It gets kind of irritating to go up and down. You got to scroll, right? We have these cool expansion tabs, so you can expand your technology, and it just shows your technology area and all of the stuff in there. So very, very highly recommend you using that, especially when you're moving stuff around like I did. I moved everything out, that way you can kind of see what I do. This is how I set up my hazard protection. Now you'll notice I'm really, really weird. I set, the cold with the cold, the hot with the hot. You don't have to do that. As long as they're all in a square touching each other, you're good to go. You can swap this one out with this one, like that if you'd like, but as long as they're in a square, you're good. It just drives me crazy seeing that. I'm weird, so I have to have all mine linked together. Doesn't matter if you do that as long as they're in a square. Anyway, the upgrade I was talking about is your C-class protections. These are the ones you can buy from the Space Anomaly. A lot of people say, oh, it's a C-class. That thing is just garbage. Why would you even care about that? These things matter more than your S-class upgrades, and I will show you that in a second. So, you'll see I have it in a square. It's all matched up because, if you did not know, all technology in No Man's Sky has a bonus as long as there's similar upgrades next to it. So you'll see all my jetpacks, upgrades have a yellow square around them. If I move that one away, there's no more yellow square. That means there's no bonus for this one. This one's just a regular one. You have to put them next to each other. As long as they're touching, they're good to go. That's why there's a white square around all of these. Now, hazard protections take that to the max because not only do my radiation, my toxin, if you put those two together like this over here, they have a little white square, right? But if I move them separated, they don't. So not only do they match up together, but they also match up with the other one. See, it's not even touching another toxin. It's touching the radiation and the heat, but it still has the white square. So they all give each other a bonus. That's why you want to make a gigantic square with your hazard protections, all of them. It is, for me, the hazard protections in No Man's Sky are the most important because they take up so much room in your inventory. So for me, I plan out all of my technology around where I'm going to put my hazard protections. Now, let's get into why I set it up the way I do. So if you go into your visor, over on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see, left-hand bottom side of the screen, you'll see radiation protection, 7.0 radiation. That's what we're protecting against. And underneath that, there's that white bar, and then it says critical exposure in 29 minutes, 48 seconds. That is how long I have when my radiation protection, my active radiation protection goes away. So what I mean by active is these ones, the one that counts down, the one that you have to recharge, the specific one. These are your active protections. And then you have to, once that's over, once that expires, you have to go into your regular hazard protection. So right now we're going to be, we're using up this one. Once this one goes away, like if I take it off and put it down here, okay, over there. So now I don't have an active one. So now if I go in there, look at it, I'm at 28 minutes, 40, 39, 38. So it is now using my regular hazard protection, but I still have 28 minutes. So I can run around for 28 minutes without that thing expiring. It's going to take a long time, half an hour, basically, to do that. So that's what I mean by active and not active. So let's pop that back in there. So a lot of people, what I see a lot of people do is they say, oh, we have the S-class upgrades. I have another one right here, right? So as long as I just keep stuffing these ones in there, it'll give me a bonus. You know, I'll be able to use that no problem. All of these are going to gel together, right? Wrong. Look at that. 29:48. That's the same exact time as we had before, even without it. Remember, 29:48. If I take it away, put that down here. So it's not even being used. It's in my inventory. 29:48. There is no benefit to using multiples of the active hazard protections. You don't need the active ones, especially because they charge the same amount. So if I have 2 of them, if I have 3 of them, if I take, you know, if this one runs out and I use this one, you still have to refill it with your battery. You still have to keep refilling it. So why would you have 2 of them that you need to add in batteries when you can just use 1? That's totally fine. Why not? So again, 29:48, right? The more important one, the one I keep telling you guys about, let's just take out this C class. It's a C class, it's terrible, we don't need it, right? Let's take that one out. How much of a difference does that make? We're at 21 minutes, 36 seconds. We lost 8 minutes of protection just by taking that out. We didn't move anything else. All we did was take it out and we lost 8 minutes of protection. That is why those are so freaking important. I mean, even if you want to optimize, say, oh, well, we'll put it up like that. Still, 21:36. It does not matter as much. So these S-Class upgrades, you need those? No, you don't. You just need the major ones are these C-Class. A lot of people ignore them. And then I always try to get these black market hazard protections. You can find these in pirate stations, the outlaw stations, and also the traders at land. They might sell you these. These are really important because they give you a 10%, not as much as the C-Class. The C-Class is 21, so it's about half of the C-Class, but they give you 10 for each. Cold, hot, toxic, radiation. They do not cover water. Water is not part of their repertoire. But they all add up. So I have 3 of them. That equals out to about 30%, plus I have 1 supercharged. There you go. So yeah, boom. So that is what I do with my hazard protection. Again, it is going to take up a lot of room in your inventory, so I would suggest you don't have to do it this way. Wherever you want to put it, make sure you put everything else around this, because this is going to take up a lot of room. That's about, what, 1/3 of my inventory, my tech inventory. Maybe even, not half. A little under 1/3 of my inventory is just hazard protection. So keep in mind, you don't need extras of this active protection. You only need 1. And you also want to get that C class. Doesn't matter what it is. All the C classes work together. Now, you'll notice the water protection does not have a highlight around it. This one's been broken forever. I don't know why. Doesn't matter where you put it. It does not mesh with any of the other protections. You can put it anywhere. Doesn't matter. I even tried to put it next to the water. The water, the regular aeration brain, this is your breathing, that works. If I put it away, there you go. Even if I put it between, nothing. It will mesh, but the oxygen does not. And I don't know why. Maybe there's someone out there smarter than me that can tell me, but that one will never highlight, so don't worry about it. Like, don't think you put it in the wrong spot because there's no box around it. It just doesn't work no matter what. No matter where you put it. You can put it in the center if you want to. It won't matter. So I just keep it together again because I'm crazy. Water, radiation, toxic, hot, whatever you want to do. Just make sure it's in a square so they're all touching each other. And make sure if you need to, like I always have at least one of these up here in a supercharged slot, but I'll also put in my shield upgrades. I'll put one of those in there. It depends on what your flavor is. Just make sure you're in a big square. That's what I could tell you. So hopefully that kind of helps you guys out with your hazard protections. It works for all of them. All of them work the same way. So it's not like the radiation is different than the heat. They all have the same structure. So make sure you're setting it up in your suit correctly, or as efficiently as you can get it. And hopefully you guys have amazing hazard protection. So hopefully this helped you out. If it did, hit that like button, and I will see you guys next time.